Coming up next, energy healer Danielle Vallée.
Do you ever feel like something is holding you back? Do things get in your way that prevent you from getting what you want to attain your full potential? Do you feel like you could do a lot more with your life? Hi, I'm Danielle Vallée. If you've seen the Ripple Effect show that I did with Kristen White on the ABC network, and even if you haven't, I'd like to share this program that I've prepared especially for you. It's called the Belief Replacement Program. You've seen on the show that changing false beliefs is really easy to do. The program I've prepared for you allows you to change over 50 beliefs that are common to almost everyone. It contains 4 ebooks, over 50 MP3s, and once you start using it, you'll feel a shift immediately. You can start experimenting by yourself at your own pace and see the change. It's really important that you don't fear change, because that kind of good change is so beneficial that you'll have a hard time believing that so many good things are finally happening to you. You will turn your life around and live fully like you're supposed to without constantly being faced with the same obstacles. So give yourself this wonderful gift. To learn more about my Belief Replacement Program, visit the website address below and you'll find this very special offer.
You may not realize it, but some of those past traumas that have happened in your life may still be holding you back today. My next guest is Danielle Vallée, and she's here to talk about how we can release the traumas and get moving again in our lives. Danielle, welcome.
Hi, Kristen. Thank you for having me here.
So let's talk about trauma and the role that it plays inside our lives.
Well, traumas are very bad influences because they grip us, they make us prisoner. It's like us sitting in a corner and being immobilized by trauma if they're very severe. And most of the time, traumas are brought upon by beliefs we have, like false beliefs and limiting beliefs we have. And I work with replacing false beliefs, and sometimes I have to deal with the traumas first because they're so powerful that we need to release a bit of that before going on to the belief replacement.
So when we're talking about traumas, we can be talking about anything like an accident, a divorce. I mean, give me some examples.
For example, the death of a loved one, like divorce, loss of a job, but it can also be some trivial stuff that you went through as a child, because for a child, sometimes something that seems trivial to adults are very traumatizing for children. So you may carry that on in your life for many years, and your whole life afterwards is influenced by that.
So, if I understand you correctly, childhood traumas can play a role in our adult lives?
They definitely play a role, especially since if they happen in early childhood, like before 6 years old. But beliefs are also installed as programs in the subconscious mind. By feelings. Strong feelings have a direct connection with the subconscious mind. So anytime you have an important trauma, it will connect with the subconscious mind and install some specific programs.
So how can you tell, that if you have a trauma, that it's impacting your life today?
When we're working with a person, we question the subconscious mind, and it's a test based on kinesiology. Actually, there are several tests, but they're all based on kinesiology principles. So you ask the subconscious to answer questions, and it gives you very reliable questions because the subconscious mind manages the whole body. And when you use the electromagnetic forces to connect with the subconscious mind through the body, you're going to get reliable answers.
So you mentioned you use kinesthesiology. And how does that work?
The the subconscious mind manages everything in the body, and we know that it manages circulation, the involuntary respiration, and our body is based on electricity and magnetism. So when you ask something that resonates true with the subconscious mind, it makes your body stronger. And when you ask something that does not resonate as true, it makes the body weaker. So that's how we know that if the subconscious mind agrees or not with the answer or with the statement.
You know, we've arranged to have a guest here, so let's go to that guest now and, you know, take a look at how this kinesiology works.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So now I'm going to demonstrate muscle testing when you're two persons to muscle test. So the first step is to make sure the person is standing really straight, feet about shoulder width, and just a very straight line, the chin maybe just a millimeter down, and the eyes looking down. Now I'm going to take the arm, and I'm going to calibrate the answer. So I'm asking first, I'm asking Janine to say, my name is Janine, to verify the calibration.
My name is Janine.
Be strong.
My name is Janine.
Be strong. Resist. Okay. Okay. Say, my name is George.
My name is George.
Okay. Say in your head, repeat yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Be strong. Okay. Repeat no in your head. Okay. So now we're going to test something that has to do with your mom. Mm-hmm. And we're going to test whether your subconscious mind says yes or no to the question, I can take care of my mom without feeling guilty. I can take good care of my mom without feeling guilty. You repeat that.
I can take good care of my mom without feeling guilty.
Okay, it's a bit weak, wouldn't you say? Okay, so we'll change that immediately with the Theta Healing technique. So, okay, let's test it again. I can take good care of my mom without feeling guilty. Be strong.
I can take good care of my mom without feeling guilty.
So is it strong in your opinion? Okay.
Definitely.
So now we'll test another belief. We'll test I can set boundaries without feeling guilty.
I can set boundaries without feeling guilty.
Okay. So now we'll use the other technique to demonstrate the belief change that you can do yourself.
Okay.
Now, before we go any further, I'd like to demonstrate another technique where you can test yourself.
Okay.
So to do that, you're going to stand your feet shoulder width, and you're going to stand very straight, same position as before, the arms resting, and you need to feel floating on your feet. So when you feel like you're kind of floating on your feet, you're going to test again your name. So you say, my name is Janine, and you keep looking down.
My name is Janine.
And you'll feel a slight pull towards the front.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And then you say, my name is George.
My name is George.
See what happens?
Yeah.
So it's an easy way to test yourself when you're all by yourself. Obviously, you don't have anybody pulling on your arms, so that's an easy way to do the testing. So you can test just about any belief you have that way.
Wow, Danielle, that was amazing. Just seeing the way that the body responds, just depending on the different types of questions. Let's talk about beliefs. How do you define a belief?
Well, the beliefs are based on statements from the subconscious, the statements that we're testing with the subconscious. For example, the statements that I use to test are all affirmative statements. And so if it resonates false, then we can change the belief immediately. I used two techniques to change the beliefs. I used Theta Healing technique, and I also used the Psyche technique. And they're slightly different in that the Psyche technique is a bit more rational, if you want. Like, it's easier to understand for people who are very analytical. And the Theta Healing is more for intuitive people, although both work for everyone. But it's also a matter of the person being able to relate to what's going on. That helps the process a lot. So as you saw, I changed the belief instantly with the Theta Healing technique. And so I can demonstrate the other technique in a few minutes.
So what happens, Danielle, when we can release long-standing traumas or beliefs? What happens in your life?
You see a change in your energy. You feel lighter. You feel more free. It's really a relief. And it's the difference between allowing other people and events control what's going on in your life or deciding for yourself what's going on in your life. So whenever you have a trauma and you dwell on that trauma, you're governed by, like, your actions are always in relation with that. And we spend an incredible amount of time every day thinking about what we don't want.
Right. I don't want this. I don't want that.
And that's something that we really have to work on, in the sense that once you change your beliefs, you have a very powerful creation tool. We have, the creation tool is always there, really, but we've been using it without realizing we do it. And we unfortunately use it on bad stuff, you know, like when you think about what you don't want, then
You attract it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, so you maybe, like, you can spend 60% of your day thinking about what you don't want, what you don't like, and so.
And you wonder why it shows up again.
Exactly. So it's a matter of getting used to thinking about what you really want. And sometimes, you know, I ask people, what is it you want? And they tell me, I don't know. I don't know what I want. So the I want part is really important. You need to take a look at your life, look at yourself, and decide what you want. And a good clue to know what's going on in your life and what kind of beliefs and programs you have, you look at what your life is made of, like your relationships, your money, your love, whatever. And when you look at that, it gives you a perfect example of the programs that are in your subconscious mind.
So you don't really need to look much further than what's going on in your relationship at home. Like, you're happily in a relationship. Do you have money flowing into your business?
Right.
Do you have a good relationship with your children? Do you even have children? What's going on in your job? All of these factors can tell you if your beliefs are flowing with you or against you.
Exactly. And you know how some people tend to always get the same kind of relationships from one to the other?
With different people.
Yes,
Yeah.
repeating the pattern. Well, that's typical of a false belief or a limiting belief that's there and is driving the show.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about, because I'm sure that's a really important topic for many of the people watching the show. So if you have a relationship that it just seems like you're having that same relationship over and over again, but with different people, and it's not a good relationship, how do you break or interrupt that pattern?
You have to find, well, you know, you can use basic beliefs. There are some basic beliefs that are common to almost everyone. And for example, I deserve to be loved. I know what it feels like to be loved. And some people have never experienced love in their life. So in instances where people have never experienced love, we need to download, so to speak, the definition of love in order for them to experience it, because they won't be able to experience it if they've never been loved. So if they feel that they're not deserving, you know, when you're young, you're often told that you're no good, you didn't do enough, you didn't do well enough, and so then you need to correct that. I'm worthy, I
deserve love, yeah.
I deserve love, I know how to receive. I know how to accept good things. Those are very common beliefs that are not there with people.
Can you do this by just saying those words, like I just repeated, I deserve love with you? Is it just saying the statements like I deserve love, I'm worthy, or is there more to it?
If your subconscious programs are in agreement, it's going to work perfectly. But if your subconscious does not agree with your conscious mind, you'll never be able to change that just by making affirmations. Because the conscious mind works at a rate of 40 nervous impulses per second. And the subconscious mind works at a rate of 40 million impulses per second. So
It's going a little faster.
so yes, it's like if you see a Formula One racing car and you try to stop it with your finger, you know it's going to be gone before you see.
You'll lose your finger.
So you really need to establish a connection with your subconscious mind in order to be able to change the beliefs. Otherwise, you could repeat stuff forever, like for the rest of your life, nothing would change because you have no chance of going against a machine that's a million faster.
How do you do that? How do you establish a relationship between your conscious mind that says statements and affirmations and that subconscious mind?
There are a few methods. The method that I employed earlier is called Theta Healing, and it's using the theta brain waves in order to connect with the subconscious. And that's the exact same waves that are in place in a child of maybe like between 2 and 6 years old. And so by connecting in a theta brainwave mode, we can actually connect with the person, and it puts them in the theta brainwave modes and connect with the subconscious. There are other methods as well. The Psyche method uses a physical example, a physical position that I'll be able to demonstrate in a minute, and so it's a method that balances both brain hemispheres. And you know how our hemispheres are crossed at the neck? Mm-hmm. And so the right side governs the left side of our body and vice versa.
Yeah, they kind of crisscross.
So when you cross your members, then it forces the two hemispheres to get balanced. And that's another way of connecting with your subconscious mind. There are other methods as well. Some people use a magnet that they run through the meridians. Mm-hmm. And also, like, strong feelings will connect with the subconscious. The problem with that, especially when an adult, is that most of your strong feelings are like traumas. So yeah. Right then you have a connection. So like the good emotions will connect also, but you never have as many as traumas, except when you change your beliefs.
So we have a pile of traumas and a couple good things that have happened.
Right, right.
And are you saying that these traumas, they have a tendency to run through our mind over and over again, even if we're not thinking about it at that time?
Well, they keep coming back. You know, like you think about what you went through, and like if a person wronged you, you're going to think about it and why did it happen? Mm-hmm. What am I going to do about it? And you know,
should I have done something different?
Exactly. So mm-hmm. it gets a life of its own at some point, depending on the severity of the trauma.
So let's talk about why it's important to release these traumas. I mean, what difference would it make in your life? I mean, some people would say, you know, yeah, it happened to me, so what?
In my case, it made a huge difference because I worked a lot for most of my life, and I kept having successes followed by disaster. Like every success was followed up by disaster. And I discovered that I had beliefs like I was unworthy and I didn't deserve anything. And so when I started changing very, very basic beliefs, I saw a result in the 4 or 5 days following.
Wow.
So that was very fast. Of course, I didn't stop there because I had a lot more to take care of. But I mean, I saw a difference right there, which incited me to go further.
Danielle, I mean, are there some common beliefs that many people hold that just get in the way?
Absolutely, and some beliefs are even common to like whole people, cultures. For example, I come from the French Canada, and we have a saying that says that we're born for a tiny piece of bread, so it means not getting much. And for example, some beliefs can come from our ancestors. Some beliefs can come from our ancestors, and for example, when I saw my ancestors' house, I saw all the tools that they were using in order to work. Like they made everything. They made shoes. They made the slates that go on the roofs. They made everything.
A hard life.
And so they worked really, really hard just for barely surviving. So that's sometimes ingrained in our genetic code. And so I think right now, I think it's probably common to most of the cultures, the scarcity belief, like we believe that there's not enough money for everyone. Like if you get money, you're going to deprive somebody of money, or so that's a very false belief. There's plenty of everything for everyone. If we look at the universe, I mean, it's plentiful. So the belief that there's not enough food for everyone, so all those are false beliefs.
What about the belief around just being successful?
Yes, well, there's often a feeling of guilt associated with being successful, or maybe sometimes there's a hidden agenda, like by being successful, I'm afraid to neglect my family. By being successful, I'm afraid of hurting someone, or being bad for someone, or that type of belief can exist also, like underlying beliefs.
It's interesting that I know in a culture there's also the saying about being the tallest poppy, not being someone who stands out, that you need to stay even with everyone else, that you need to just stay small. And that can also get in the way of just sharing your gifts, sharing what your passion is with the world.
Yes, our education was based on a need to conform. Mm-hmm. And be like everyone else, but the truth is we're unique. So there's no use in trying to be like everyone else. We have to shine on our own, and we're an expression of a creation. And so we have like a divine light inside of us, and that only asks to shine.
So it's important, especially in the world that we live in now, to shine this divine light that you're talking about.
Absolutely, because as you know, the energy is shifting, and it's demanding that we shine. We need to let go of our old thoughts or the way of thinking. There's a big paradigm shift happening right now, and I think that it's going to call on people to be themselves, assume their uniqueness, and shine.
Yes, to step into the spotlight.
Right.
Danielle Vallée, thank you so much for being here with us and sharing insight into how we can overcome our traumas and, really shine in the way that we are meant to.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you.
Do you ever feel like something is holding you back? Do things get in your way that prevent you from getting what you want to attain your full potential? Do you feel like you could do a lot more with your life? Hi, I'm Danielle Vallée. If you've seen the Ripple Effect show that I did with Kristen White on the ABC network, and even if you haven't, I'd like to share this program that I've prepared especially for you. It's called the Belief Replacement Program. You've seen on the show that changing false beliefs is really easy to do. The program I've prepared for you allows you to change over 50 beliefs that are common to almost everyone. It contains 4 ebooks, over 50 MP3s, and once you start using it, you'll feel a shift immediately. You can start experimenting by yourself at your own pace and see the change. It's really important that you don't fear change, because that kind of good change is so beneficial that you'll have a hard time believing that so many good things are finally happening to you. You will turn your life around and live fully like you're supposed to without constantly being faced with the same obstacles. So give yourself this wonderful gift. To learn more about my belief replacement program, visit the website address below and you'll find this very special offer.